Hi, Farai, Nathan. How are you?
That's Nathan. Hi, Mr. Jerry. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you doing that side?
Ah, yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. And how are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Welcome aboard. Uh, the
Thank you.
Transcal ship.
Yeah.
Here we try by all means to make sure that you guys pass your ACCA studies as quickly as possible. So, in this first lecture, we are going to deliberate uh, on the paper which is under review, that is the ACCA Strategic Business Reporting. Yeah, this is the paper we are going to discuss about. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen with you so that we move together. All right,
Okay. Okay.
good. Um, If you're not seeing anything, please advise me so that I stop because sometimes I'll be fast when you guys will be left behind.
Okay. I can see your screen.
If you're seeing it, then that's good. Um, right, just a few housekeeping.
Okay.
All right. So the session will focus mainly on the introductory discussions, which are going to be centered on three things. That is the exam overview, right? The ACCA Sbr exam. We're going to talk about this being guided by the current syllabus. And then we'll move to this topic, which is fundamental ethical and professional principles. We hope we'll cover this thing again today. And lastly, the financial reporting framework,
Okay. Okay.
which means by the end of this noble presentation, you should be able to, um, be ready or to feel geared for this long journey. It is not long as such, but to many, um, financial reporting is quite hard. And most people just pray that I just want to do this paper once and for all and forget about it.
Okay.
But you're not
Okay.
going to forget about it because if you're an accountant or an auditor, by the end of the day, you just have to always read your, corporate reporting textbooks over and
Okay.
over again. And you need also to keep on updating your skills because what you might be knowing today might not be relevant next year. Things
Okay.
often
Okay.
change. You do understand?
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, they do change, especially in accounting. Almost every year, a new standard is
Oh.
coming up. So you just have to be very, very comfortable with the aspect of change, continuous change.
Mm. That's
Okay.
fine.
So the objectives are summarized here. You need to be able to understand the paper structure. We're going to talk about these and apply fundamental ethical and professional principles um, so that you will be able to apply relevant safeguards whenever there is a dilemma to the ethical, principles. You need to be able to know how to respond to an ethical scenario.
Mm.
Maybe I will start with a question. What do you understand by ethics?
Okay. So I just think that maybe ethics, these good morals, good or bad morals.
Yes, yes, you are right there. Ethics are just the morals for good or bad. You understand? So, in a nutshell, they tell us about behaviors which, to some extent, are consistent with business practices or to the corporate cultures. But sometimes they tend to fight, what the professional world thinks is professional might not be what is expected in a certain entity's culture. For example, if you are working at a drug dealer company, what you think are ethics might not be ethics in the professional business sense.
Okay,
So if you
okay,
happen
okay.
to be an accountant by default, you are working at a company where the managing director is somebody who is not ethical. You might find yourself, in a quagmire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, because what we are going to teach you here might not be, resonating, might not be, consistent with what is expected at
yeah,
that particular company.
yeah. Very true.
All right. So we'll touch about those things. And then lastly, you need to understand the aspect of, what can I say, regulation or standardization of the accounting discipline, where we will be looking at the conceptual framework.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
the conceptual framework.
Framework.
We're going to delve much on this one. And if we cover
Oh,
all these, then we are comfortable to enter into the exam hall and answer in particular question number 2. Remember, they are what's going on. Okay. There are 4 questions you are going to meet in an examination. Okay.
okay. Mm,
There are 4 questions. Actually, there are 4 questions. Okay, the
mm,
first one, question number 1 is 30 marks. Question number 2, 20 marks. And these constitute section A, and section B is going to be question number 3 and 4, and all these will be aiming 25 marks each.
okay, okay, okay,
And
okay.
the whole paper is 100 marks. And for you to pass
100
this
marks.
paper, you just have to score 50 marks. But
Wow.
it's not an easy road to get those if you do not work hard.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Are we together, my friend?
We are together.
Yes. Usually, question number 1 is on group consolidation. It's a consolidation question. So that one will touch on those issues as we proceed. And question number 2, like I said, it's mainly centered on ethics, but it will be scenario based again. But you
Oh,
are likely to be asked about something relating to ethics. So
okay.
you just have to be very, very prepared when it comes to ethical responses and ethical analysis. So you just have to be very, very ready.
Mm.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
you need to demonstrate ability at a high level, ability to make strategic business reporting decisions.
Okay.
Business reporting. Um, Usually will be guided by the conceptual framework, but from the conceptual framework, remember the conceptual framework says that if there is an accounting standard that precludes something that is in the conceptual framework, you need to follow the accounting standard. Okay? So
Yeah.
accounting standards in their own are actually part of what we can call the financial reporting framework. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because by the end of the day, even if we start from the conceptual framework, by the end of the day, if there is now an accounting standard
Yeah.
that is been issued, then whatever the conceptual framework was saying is going to be disregarded, and we
Oh,
concentrate
okay.
we concentrate on the
On the
standards.
standards. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so whatever decision you're going to make, or whatever conclusion you're going to make in your answers, it has to be guided either by the conceptual framework or by the standards.
Okay.
When you're talking of the
Okay.
standards, we are talking of the IAAs, the IFRIs, and the IFRIs sustainability standards. You have heard of those ones, right?
Yeah, of
IFRIs
IAS,
S1, IFRIs
IFRS.
S2,
Yeah.
okay? And the other,
Yeah.
remember, there are other, the SC interpretations, what all those things,
Yeah.
they they do constitute this entire financial reporting framework. Okay,
Yes.
so when we say strategic, normally in this exam, it's either you're going to be called a senior finance manager or even a finance director, or you are
Okay.
going to be considered some high level official, and your purpose is to, be able to judge if what the directors are going to do is actually in line with ethical principles, in line with sound business judgment.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
You must not conflict yourself by saying, they are putting me in a strategic position, but I work simply as a cashier. No, even if you are working as a cashier, but for you to pass this paper, you must tell yourself that I am a high level manager. Because if you think
Mm.
like a low level employee, you're not going to pass.
Okay. Okay.
So your answer should be having full force, should exhibit maturity. All right.
Mm.
So the questions
Yes.
themselves are going to be set within the corporate reporting environment. Corporate
Okay.
reporting, we are simply talking of the same thing, that is financial reporting, that is accounting, okay?
Yeah.
But accounting at higher level, no longer bookkeeping this time around, but at financial statements level. Is that
Yes.
clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so you're going to be tested on concepts. These concepts, we have already been, grilled over them since the financial accounting paper, the financial reporting paper, and now at strategic level. They are the same
Mm.
concepts. If it is going concern assumption, it is still going concern assumption. But the now, um, the only difference is that you now have to put it synthetically. You understand? It is no
Yeah.
longer, an issue of cramming, because nobody's going to tell you that here, this is the place where you are going to think of the going concern assumption. This is the place
Mm.
where you are going to. No one is going to tell you. But in your arguments, that's when
Yeah.
you are going to exhibit that you know
Mm.
those concepts.
Okay.
Theories, accounting theories, there are so many. You're right. Um,
Mm.
an example of an accounting theory. Okay. Let's say things like recognition or
Mm-hmm.
derecognition. Those are
Mm.
theories, the measurement, aspect
Mm.
of measurement, subsequent measurement.
Mm.
All those are theories or issues to do with the valuation, where we are looking at the historical cost,
Mm.
the current cost. All those, I mean, theories are those that I mean, deep-rooted accounting philosophies. For example, when we are talking of revaluation, what is revaluation and when does it apply? Which standard actually is going to be concerned with the aspect of revaluation? So when we hear aspects of revaluation or of depreciation, something is to come into your mind. All right. If you are looking at this financial statement item, should I have to worry about depreciation? For example, we are talking of revenue, and someone says, have you considered depreciation? Depreciation on revenue? Can that apply? Oh, wait. The other, hello.
Yes, sorry, sorry. I'm not sure what's going on with my network.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Because
Okay,
I
but
was
I can
now
clearly hear
not
you.
locating you.
Okay, thanks. So sorry for interruption.
All
We
right.
can
Sometimes it
resume.
is my network as well.
Okay.
It
Yeah, I
happens.
think yeah, yeah,
Our
it
networks are
happens.
not always stable.
Yeah, they are not always stable.
All right. So theories, it's a wider term. You can't actually say
Yeah.
this one is what we call the theory, but it is. Remember, in other professional certifications, they have got what they call the certificate in accounting theory. Okay, something like that,
CTA.
or the
Mm,
city, something like that.
mm,
So it's a wide theory. It's a wide spectrum. It's something you cannot pinpoint to say now I found the theory. But theory simply means that your accounting grounding. Do you understand? You should be able then to say to make some judgments to say no, this one cannot apply. This one do apply. You understand?
yeah, yeah.
Principles, they are also so many, but they can, for example, in the context, they can also be considered concepts, because if you are talking of accounting principles, um, we'll be looking at things like, for example, the double entry principle, but it is
Mm,
also something that is also a concept, because that's where we talk of the dual, the dual
aspect.
effect
Mm,
concept,
mm,
something like that, right?
yeah.
We'll
Mm,
still be referring to the principles, but at the same time, we are also referring to the concept,
mm,
all right? And also, you should be able to crucially, to critically evaluate a real life scenarios, right? For example, you'll be
mm,
given uh, a scenario in a mining firm where the directors are considering to expand further in the exploration for minerals. But you, as an
mm,
accountant, you just have to then think in an ethical way to say, is that going to be good for the entire society? Is that going to be
mm.
good to the investors?
Oh, yeah.
So all those things, the community, that is the stakeholders, also the investors, they're also stakeholders in their way,
Mm,
because you need also to act ethically to ensure that you safeguard the investment of the shareholders. You also have to safeguard the reputation of the firm. For example,
mm,
if you disclose false records or false transactions, you are actually
mm.
harming the potential investors, because they're going to rely on your
Yeah.
reports when they are fake or when they are falsified. You
Mm.
understand? So
Yes.
by the end of the day, the aspect of ethics is going to apply.
Yeah.
The exam, like any other strategic exam, is going to be a 3 hour examination, 3 hours, 15 minutes. This includes writing
Okay.
and reading time.
Mm. Yeah.
So in 3 hours, a lot of people have been found on the other side, have been found not being able to finish the paper. Some,
Okay.
yeah, some will find themselves on question number two, some on question number three, or some on question number one only.
Hey.
But now,
Mm.
here's the catch. If you attempted only question number one and number two and obtained all the fifth marks, you
Mm-hmm.
are not going to pass this examination.
Hey.
Even if you totalized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The idea is that the paper is compulsory. Every question has to be attempted.
Okay.
So if you only do well, for example, you attempted all the questions, but in section A,
Mm-hmm.
you exhibited some 98% performance. And
Mm-hmm.
in section B, you only exhibited some 2% performance.
Mm-hmm.
If we add these two, they are going to give us 100%, but you're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to show the examiners that you have read everything across the syllabus. You have
Okay.
mastered all the concepts. So
Okay.
you are expected at least to show some balance. If we can have, in terms of your rigor, to say in section A, you were around, 70%. In section B, you were around 55%.
Okay.
You understand? In terms of effort.
Mm. Mm.
There should be some exhibition of thorough grasping of the concepts right
Okay.
across the syllabus. All right. Now, um, this diagram is actually telling us about what the things we have already deliberated upon, that it is assumed that we have covered financial accounting. If you covered it through exemptions,
Mm-hmm.
that is too fine. All right.
Mm.
This paper, once you have garnered it, you are likely to pass the advanced audit and assurance paper with easy.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of
Okay.
people usually start with advanced audit,
Mm-hmm.
using it can, yeah, you can do so. Uh, it's not a crime, but if you want to pass this paper with easy, you need to grasp your strategic business reporting.
Okay.
All right. So these are the areas we are required to cover. And my prayer is that by the end of today's session, we would have covered the fundamental ethical and professional principles, as well as the financial reporting framework. Why do I want to do all these today? This is because I hope that um, these two segments are purely discursive, all right? And it's an issue of just discussing things. If we
Mm.
discuss them,
Mm.
no computations today. And if we call it a day, if we actually finish them today, we are highly likely to be in a safer projection as we proceed, because much of the questions, the computational ones, are going to be hinged on the principles we are going to lay down today.
Mm.
Sometimes
Okay.
when you are going to be, to be given a question that requires some computations, you now have all the grounding, because we have covered those discursive parts today. Because the discursive parts are going to be centered mainly on sustainability, on ethics, on the digital landscape of today, all those things. If we cover those things, then the computation side is not going to be problematic. Be it a consolidated question or a simple, bookkeeping question, all those things are going to be uh, easier as we proceed.
Okay.
Okay. Any
Yes.
questions so far?
I have no question.
All right. Now, the fundamental principles, fundamental ethical principles. Hmm, going on with my screen. All right. Fundamental ethical and professional principles. I'm happy that you gave me, you still remember the definition of ethics. But for this paper,
Mm.
it's not really important that you know the definition. But
Okay. Okay.
yes, but you just have to have the skill of understanding that what is now being tested is my ethical grounding. Now,
Okay. Okay.
something linked to ethics.
Mm.
All right. Professional and ethical duty of the accountant. You need to ensure, uh, the whole concept is there to ensure integrity, transparency. That is integrity in the way accountants do their work, transparency in the product which they produce. That is the financial reports. We want them to be as transparent as possible. They should discharge
Mm-hmm.
their duties with all the utmost integrity. They should exhibit accountability at all times. they have to be accountable of their actions. They should be able to account for their stewardship. Is that clear?
Very clear.
But now the paper is going to be tested largely on a global landscape, right?
Yeah.
Which means normally, you will be a very big company. You will be working at a very big company that has got some subsidiary in an overseas territory.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is why the aspect of professional ethics is always advocated for. It doesn't mean that maybe where you are located, ethics,
Yeah.
okay?
Mm.
But it is encouraged that whatever we are doing, we need to exhibit uh, global standard ethics. Okay?
Yes.
Now, let's look at the examination. Section 2 of the Sbr exam specifically tests the reporting and ethical implications of unique events.
Okay.
I've already elaborated on this one.
Yeah, very well.
If you master your ethics very well, you are likely going to get marker or examiner sentiments. If you show that you are mature ethically, this paper is for you.
Okay.
All right. Now, we'll look, as I've already indicated, the ethical issues facing the accountant. We'll touch on the ACCA Code of Ethics. I believe after passing these examinations, you will continue pursuing the ACCA philosophy, continue to be an ACCA member, being guided by their, Bible, that is the code of ethics and conduct. And this code is just the same as the IESBA's. All right. So, which means if you breach the ACCA code of ethics, you have also breached, the International Ethics Standard Board of Accountants Ethics.
Okay.
Is that clear?
It's very clear.
Yes. So sometimes you'll be working at a firm and the managers they have come across this IESBA's code
Yes, yes,
of
yes, yes.
ethics, and they found out that you have breached one of the sections of this code or the provisions thereof, and they are actually planning to have a disciplinary hearing against you. Make sure that it is not going to end there, because once you have breached a section or a provision of the IESBA's Code of Ethics, you have fundamentally and automatically breached the ACCA Code of Ethics, because the ACCA simply copied and pasted their Code of Ethics from the IESBA's.
Okay.
So be careful there. We'll also discuss the implications of digital technologies and lastly, the consequences of unethical behavior. All right. Finding professional ethics, the core principles. These are standards that underlie the responsibilities and conduct of an expert in the particular field. The insertion of the word expert is a modification to the normal definition of ethics. Here we are saying expert because they are now professional ethics.
Okay.
All right. Now, these ethics usually set what is called the organizational tone. Have you ever wondered that if you leave one company to another, There's always this feeling, even if the company which you joined is using the same accounting system, they're using Sage, Zero, whatever, there is this particular thing that differentiates the two companies, not only about
Mm-hmm.
salary, but something about the organizational tone.
Mm-hmm.
So, ethics set the culture and behavior for employees and senior management. The intangible element. Okay, this one now tells us that ethics in themselves are like a service. You cannot touch it. But we can see whether you are ethical or not, even if we can't actually see the ethics themselves. But the
Yeah.
way you are going to present your things, the way you are going to do your job, will tell us if you are an ethical accountant or not.
Mm. Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yeah, it's very clear.
But one thing that is good about these ethics is that they enhance what is called public trust. You can actually be
Okay.
the angel your organization is looking for if you start to practice professional ethics. You could be the one who's going to, rejuvenate their brand that is already dying. You know, a lot of companies will usually follow the rhetoric. If for example, the black market is saying that the rate is rising,
Yes.
we often see companies following the same trend. When in actual fact, things might not be as the black market is saying.
Yes.
So if we find a company that resists, I mean, the aspect of what do they call it? Um, I forgot about this one now. The mob psychology. If you do not simply follow what the mob is doing and remain focused on ethical principles, you would be somebody who is outstanding, somebody who is going to be highly competitive, even in the business sense.
Mm.
So, an individual or a company that is upholding professional ethics is likely to win public trust. That means that investors are likely to be involved in dealing with such a company. And coming what may, this particular company is likely, highly likely to
Mm.
sustain in the longer future. So accountants are encouraged to be professionally ethical. The ACCA Code of Ethics, this one is a principles based from. There is a principles
Yeah.
based in what? What is the other framework?
A based framework and a conceptual.
All right. The other one, yes, the conceptual is also again largely principles based. The other one is rules based.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You understand?
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Rules based, these ones are actually principles set by legislation. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
reward based on the reward or punishment. Those things. If you don't follow the rules, you are going to be punished, or you're not going to receive your pay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, but the other code is a principles based. We are guided by principles, not really rules. It is not codified as a law, but it's about a belief. This is why I say it's your Bible.
Mm.
If you do not follow the rules in the Bible, are you going to be, prosecuted?
Ah, no, 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 no. You are not going to be prosecuted.
Okay. So that's the idea in the ACCA Code of Ethics. Although, if they find you after extensive investigation, if they find you to be on the other side,
Mm.
yeah, they can exercise, some discretion
S-
over your fate.
Yeah.
All right, so we
Sorry,
have
sorry, sorry. Just a second. Sorry, second.
okay.
Sorry, sorry, sorry. Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. All right.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk of what is contained in the ACCA Code of Ethics, the fundamental principles, right? And these are principles of
Yes.
ethics, right?
Yes.
So we have got five of them. There is integrity, there is objectivity, confidentiality, um, professional, competence,
Yes.
and due care, as well as professional behavior. You can't you can't go into that exam hall without knowing these five fundamental principles. That will be disastrous. So
Okay. Okay.
don't enter into that hall not knowing these. All right. So when you're
Okay.
talking of integrity, we are simply saying that an accountant should be straightforward. You mustn't beat about the bush. You just have to be straightforward. So when we are reading your report, we shouldn't, be confused. Do not throw us overboard.
Okay.
Do not cause, stress in us in
Okay.
trying to understand what you were saying. All right?
Yeah.
Hakuna zvokwira goma upoterera. You just have to be very straightforward.
Okay.
Be honest in all professional and business relationships. So, in everything you're going to do at that particular company or at your own firm, if you are running your own
Mm.
audit firm, you just have to be very
Mm.
straightforward and honest.
Mm.
Then, objectivity. You should avoid bias, conflicts of
Okay.
interest. What is bias? Or an example of
Um,
bias?
um, for example, maybe to not to recognize expenses, maybe for for 2025, you can actually recognize all right. Once I recognize some profits next year, more this year, that's being biased, maybe because you just need profit or something, or you can recognize my expenses at this year into next year, that's being biased. Maybe you just need your profits to be on a certain level so that we
Yes,
can be
yes,
given bonuses.
yes. You're actually, what can I say, acing it. You are acing it. Bias is about, being some inclination towards something. For example, you want to always achieve a target that is going to give you some bonus. So whatever your
Yeah.
reporting is going to be inclined toward the positive achievement of the objective. Against all the reality. The reality is actually saying that you are in a net loss position, but just because you are biased towards, having a report that reports positive achievements, you are going to, to always try by all means to achieve that when the circumstances and the evidence available is not going to support that. So that's
Sorry,
bias.
sorry, sorry. Yanga yaita kakumbodhima.
All right. Oh, sorry, sorry.
Ah,
So,
okay.
in a way, bias is about having some, predetermined preferences on something when the reality might be otherwise.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes. For example, uh, you're auditing, you're auditing a client, but
Yes,
you really know that this client is your main or your key client.
yes.
So you do not want to lose the business relationship. So you are always going to report the good things about them. That's bias.
Yes, 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 yes.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
What about so you need to avoid bias, conflicts of interest. Conflicts of interest are those dealings in which you have got
Ah.
some self-interest or they are going to benefit you,
Uh-huh.
all right, in a way which might not be good to the company. So, for example, you're going to always suggest a particular supplier just because you are also benefiting from the relationship with that supplier. So, in that way, you as an accountant, you will be conflicted. So you need to avoid the conflict of interest there for
Sorry,
you
sorry,
to.
sorry. So maybe I have a question there.
Okay.
Maybe I can suggest a certain supplier. Of course, I know him or her. Maybe we share same church or same bank or something like that. But that supplier is offering quality services or quality products. Uh, can we say if I can suggest that person to say, let's take our raw materials or our services from that person? Can we say that one is a conflict of interest?
All right.
Maybe I'm not going to have a
Okay.
reward after that after that transaction or something.
You should not do business with
Okay,
the people you know or
okay,
with you are related with. But
okay.
as long as the ethical principles are observed, for example, if you have disclosed, you need to
Oh
disclose
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
issue
Okay,
to the
okay,
parties
okay.
involved or the stakeholders involved. For
Oh,
example, other board members, you need to disclose where you're conflicted, to say, guys, this guy is a supplier, is a good person. They supply high quality materials, but
hello.
unfortunately, the owner of the company is my cousin or is my brother. So that whoever wants to proceed with the procurement, they are now doing
Yes,
that knowing that everything has been disclosed. They are doing it according to
yes.
their own. Do you get it?
Yeah, I can, yeah, 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 yeah.
So when you disclose, it doesn't mean that you are objective, but it will mean that you are of high integrity.
Straightforward.
There is
Uh-huh.
integrity in you. You understand?
Yeah, yeah,
All
honest.
right. And
Mm.
also, whatever you are going to do could also be seen as being objective. So, to some extent, there is also the aspect of objectivity, because when you disclose, it simply means that this guy is actually he has no bias toward the thing. He disclosed everything to us, so he was just objective. Do you get it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So in case of maybe a person, maybe anyatsa very clear to say, no, no, guys, this person wandiri kuunza as a supplier, kana kuti wandiri kuisa procurement list as a supplier. This person we share same family or we share same bla bla bla. Izvozvozvo munhu iyeye anenge asina kubleacha any fundamental principle, right?
anenge asina.
Okay.
Hayipo
That's
anenge asina. However,
yeah.
we'll talk about it as when we
Okay.
look at the safeguards. Sometimes, because of legislation, because of company policy, even if you disclose, but the company policy has strictly said that no related, these things, then it simply
Oh
means
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you get it.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
you are right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, anosungwa anoenda nako.
like that,
Yeah,
because
like
for,
that.
for example, sometimes, especially in the auditing field, sometimes you are not allowed to audit. Uh, I mean, a client where uh, the familiarity threat is so high
Yeah.
such that you cannot manage it. For example, you're a small firm and you're auditing. Yeah, I mean, you have the bank is requiring your brother's company to be audited. All right, they are being forced by the bank to produce audited
Yeah.
financial what?
If it's financial statements
You understand? And you are
to
the
obtain
partner.
loan.
You are the partner in your own firm, even if
Yeah.
there is what they call the quality reviewer and so forth.
Yeah.
The such type of association or I mean relationship is not going
Yeah.
to reduce or to be I mean the threat that is going to arise there is not going to be reduced because you have used the quality assurance reviewer
Mm.
or the engagement quality assurance reviewer. Yeah, even if you use them, but you see, it is not going to reduce the threat.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Good. Now, there is an aspect of confidentiality. You need to respect information privacy. You
Okay.
must not
Yeah.
disclose the information without proper and specific authority. This principle also goes further to say you should not use privately acquired information for
Mm.
private gains. All right. Privately acquired information during the course of your work. For example, you're an auditor. You're auditing my firm. You have read
Mm.
some board minutes that next year, Mr. Elon Musk of Tesla is going to be
Mm.
a shareholder of my firm. Then you tell your wife to come and buy shares to this company where you're auditing. That's insider trading. That's the abuse of confidentiality.
Okay.
You get
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
you have seen that the president has actually bought shares in your company, and you've seen that this company is going to be prosperous next year, and you decide to become an investor and so forth. All of those things are a breach of confidentiality. So you need to be very, very careful. And there are going to be a lot of scenarios. When a scenario is actually centered on information, proximity, when information that is going to be acquired during the course of the accountant's duties, and there's the potential that the accountant is going to use that information for some gain,
Mm.
then confidentiality principle is actually raising some red light to say, hey, I'm here. Please know that I'm the one that is being referred to. Because I said nobody's going to tell you that you need to apply confidentiality, you need to do this.
Mm.
Nobody's going to tell you.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The last two, professional competence and due care. Members have a continuing duty to maintain professional knowledge and skill
Yeah. Yeah.
at a level required to ensure that a client or employer receives a competent and professional service.
Mm. That's true.
So it doesn't matter you are self-employed or you are employed by a private company or by the government, doesn't matter that the employer himself is not ethical. You are required. Yeah, I've seen a lot of students who are working in certain organizations where they say, "Oh no, this one in our organization, sometimes we are told not to be too serious with ethics." Hello,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that one ndakatombosangana nayo zvangu. Mm,
so the code is saying that you should be always ethical. You need to ensure that you upgrade the skill. These days, there is an aspect of AI. You need
mm,
to upgrade yourself in terms of doing your duties, be as competent as possible, advance yourself in the use of
mhm,
technology, in the discharge of your duties, so
mhm.
so that you'll be able to do or to offer a competent and professional service. So if you have
Okay,
actually
so in
seen, hello?
okay, I want to say in the case that on that professional competence and educate,
Uh,
in the case that I'm a finance manager and then a director is coming to me to say no, maybe chimbosiya ma-transactions aya so that you record asipo toita kuti munhu abreacha professional competence here kana kuti anenge abreacha panhingi paintegrity.
kana zvikanzisiya ma-transactions aya
It's a
because of
directive yatouya straight
kuti zvakati
from maybe
masales
eh,
akati aya kana kuti masales ema-USD haachibomira kumaisa
eh,
15
exactly.
chiboisa emazigi chete because
Exactly.
zimu
That
ranogona kuuya
situation.
katati.
That
I
situation.
mean, it's just an example, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Zimbra
yes.
or Denki or whatever, they might come and
Yes.
pound on us, all right?
Yes, 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 yes.
In that class, the fundamental principle that would have been breached is not professional competence and eduque, no. It will be
Okay.
integrity. You are not being honest. You understand?
Sorry. That way, who is not being honest? Me, accountant, cannot director, andipa evening instruction.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, okay,
Um, the idea is that
okay,
yes, you are
okay.
following orders from above. Like I told you, there are many students, especially um, those who are inclined towards the military side
Yes, 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 yes.
I mean similar organizations. They
Yes.
usually do what they call
Orders.
superior orders. They
Yes,
follow
yes.
what are called superior orders.
Orders.
Do you get it? So superior
Yes.
orders are actually have to be followed. There's no way about it.
There's no way
We
about
want
it.
to be employed, we need to follow
Mm,
the superiors.
mm.
But now, where there is chance to explain to the superiors, you just have to do that in an ethical way. Where it is actually so significant that uh, a breach is going to affect uh, what, the significant
Mm,
quality of the information you're going to produce. For example, let's say
mm.
it is going to be a breach of the laws of the country. The first thing
Yes.
you need to consider before you resign, because by the end of the day, if all those things have failed,
Mhm.
the ethical position is that you need to resign. But
Yeah.
before you resign, you need to consider these. For example, engaging with the manager and explain them so that they understand the
Okay.
implications.
Okay.
Do you understand? You need
Yes,
to tell
yes,
them,
yes, yes,
not
yes.
to argue or to confront, but to
Mm.
remember this is why I said they are about 4 professional marks you'll be
Yeah.
awarded if your arguments are convincing in the professional sense. You are going to
Yeah.
win managerial interest. So you need to advise managers of the implications of their thing. For example, they are saying that do not post these transactions or what for
Mm, mm.
now or in this particular currency and so on. You need to
Yes.
educate them. Well, some might not be knowing, for example, that the VAT team from Zimra might
Mm,
come and do some audits
mm,
to their company, or might as well be in the know of these particular transactions
mm,
indirectly from the other party. You know,
mm,
because the Zimra guys might actually it might sample your company to say, okay, fine, this particular firm is dealing with this company. All right, okay, fine. So they enter this transaction and so forth. Using the information from that other side, they can as well interpolate and know how much
Oh,
VAT is actually supposed to be remitted
okay.
by you guys. Do you get it?
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah,
So you
yeah,
need you
yeah.
need to educate them. All right.
Mm,
So this is why I say you are always going to be caught on integrity, because integrity actually tells you that you need to take those necessary steps to ensure that the stakeholders are well informed. You need to exhibit some straightforwardness, some honesty. But when I say straightforward, I'm not saying you
mm,
must confront. No, but you just have
mm,
to be, like an auditor. An auditor, the report should be neutral in terms of tone, but the facts
mm,
should be there, should be clear. You understand?
mm, mm. Yes, yes,
He's
yes.
not going to come to you and say, hey, to be on your neck. No, he's going to report it as it is, but in a neutral way.
Mm,
So when you go to management, you just have to present your case. Say, I do appreciate you sent this instruction. Um, Please say, I want you to look at this. Remember,
mm,
if we continue to pile these transactions and accounting for these tax transactions, after a long time, the amount will be so enormous that it will be
mm,
a high burden to our cash flows.
mm.
Can't we
Yes.
just post them and submit our returns as accurately as possible to avoid future risks of penalties and so forth? They will
Mm.
understand.
Yes, that's clear now.
Yes, so do not. I mean, I cannot encourage you to follow um, orders which might not be, legally and ethically acceptable.
Mhm, 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 mhm,
If it becomes that they fail to understand you, you then have to consider
mhm,
seeking help from the ACCA or
mhm,
or your legal team, a legal advisor or the legal advisors of your firm or your superior at work. All right, if you are reporting to
mhm.
somebody, your superior, if the superior, you see the superior is also conflicted, you consider your lawyers.
Yes.
If the lawyers are out of reach, you consider approaching ACCA. If ACCA can't help you, then you
Mm.
leave the job.
Yes, you have to resign.
Do you get it?
Yes, yes, yes.
But do not, rush resigning. Like I said, do the internal things as well. Consider those.
Mm,
Sit down with the manager.
mm,
That's the first thing to do. Sit down with the manager. You elaborate. You tell them. Sometimes
mm.
there's a high possibility that they may they may listen to you, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes they
Mhm,
just simply transfer you from that department. You go to another department. That's still okay. All right.
mm,
You have done your
mm.
part.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, The last one is professional behavior. This one usually catches members when it comes to their conduct. Some of you guys come to work drunk. Some of you do
Mhm.
a lot of things. You go on social media during working hours. A lot of things you guys do, which
Mhm.
might not be good in the eyes of the employer or the public.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you need to be able, even if you're at a beer hall and people know that you're an accountant at the city council, and your team, the gunners,
Mhm.
and you start to, pop champagne, drink your gunners t-shirt, yeah, all
Ah,
these type of behaviors. You know,
that's not professional. Mm.
the one can say, "Oh, whatever accountant the guy," and
Mm. Mm.
it's not going to be good to the profession. All right, let's move on, guys. Now, there is now threats. Threats to compliance with professional ethics.
Mm.
Sometimes you find out that the five ethical principles, that is integrity. Let me just write them here. Integrity, objectivity. What's the other one?
In professional behavior,
Yes, professional behavior,
competence, professional competence, and due care,
professional
and
competence,
confidentiality, and confidentiality,
and due care.
as well
All
as
right, on due care
confidentiality.
again, or this professional competence and due care. The aspect of due care is about if you know that a particular job or a particular engagement is too difficult for you, please do not
Mm.
do it. Or you do not have the necessary skills, please do not take that engagement. Is that clear?
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you for that one.
That's the
Thank you for
exercise of
that
due
one.
care. Musangoita
Okay.
zvese zvese nokuda kuti makunzi mune ma-ACCA yande.
I know, that's fine.
All right. Then so there is the last one is confidentiality, right?
Confidentiality.
All right. So these principles may suffer some resistance or may be impossible to comply with because of certain threats which might emanate. For example, self-interest threat. This is the threat where there is a financial or other interests which might influence your judgment. So tambotaura zviya zviya kuti panogona kuiswa mari apa, imi ndimi auditor kuti chamari usanyora.
Mm, mm,
Imi mobva maona kuti shuwa shuwa apa mari inonaka kupfuura zvese. Ndoda kuvakawo imba kuGrange kana kuti
mm,
ameno une mamasebhabhu muborotel and so forth.
mm,
Plain loan. So ndikaisirwa bheg ndatiwa neself-interest, which is going to
mm,
impair, which of these ethical principles is going to be impaired?
mm. Oh, right. I'm going to be biased.
Yes,
So
your
objectivity
objectivity.
will be bleak.
So, yes, objectivity.
Then integrity. I'm not going to be straightforward and have honest from a financial side.
Yes, yes. I'll end up losing the integrity, right?
Okay,
But the key
understand.
one is actually objectivity, right? Objectivity is
Yes,
going to
yes.
suffer.
Yeah, on that.
Actually,
Mm, yes.
actually, the threat is going to attack your objectivity. All right.
Okay.
But when you ultimately take the money, um, integrity again would have suffered this way.
That's very true. Because handisi kuzotaura chokwadi pazvinhu zvandakuita. Of course, I'm being biased. and also my integrity will not lose.
So these threats are normally going to attack objectivity.
Okay.
All right. Familiarity. When the accountant is being too sympathetic to a client's interests due to a close relationship. Either the client is your girlfriend or your sekuru, your ambuya, you are going to be very, very sympathetic to them.
Very clear.
Then, intimidation. Sometimes you are going to encounter pressures or attempts against your exercise of professional judgment. Hello, are you still there?
Yes. I think yamboni ngikina yanga yapedzisira pana familiarity.
All right. Intimidation, we are simply saying that there could be some pressure or attempts to exercise undue influence over you, where guys of authority, they might come,
Yes.
they might visit your office to say, yes, tikuzoona kuti management accounts ako are likely to report a loss, but tikuda kupinda finance comment next week. Can't you do something?
Hey, yeah, that's intimidation, pressure.
So when you are intimidated, obviously you are going to have a threat towards objectivity. You are not going to remain objective. And when you succumb, when you end up changing the accounts, it also means that your integrity has suffered.
Yes.
So these threats, like I said, they attack your objectivity. All right. And what is going to be seen after the objectivity is suffered? What is normally going to be seen is that the accountant was not of high integrity or was not of integrity. It's normally going to be noticed. But what would have been attacked was you were no longer objective. Why? Because you were intimidated and you ended up succumbing to the intimidation. Do you think there is a safeguard against intimidation?
By intimidation, I think there's a need also to discuss with them. Guys, there are consequences to this. Maybe if you can follow your attempts, we might end up having this and this and this and this and this and this situation. Maybe kuvanyorera email chaiko kuti kana kuti wabvunze ma-consultants kuti if you follow this way of not reporting the actual things which happened on the ground, what might be the implications? Wakaramba I think resigning yakatonaka apa hapana nika.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. So I think we will talk one or two at the end. Self-review threat. You as an accountant, all right. It is normally, let's say you are an auditor and you have done certain things that the client, for example, you have prepared their financials. Are you going to be able to critically analyze as an auditor? Are you going to critically analyze your own work?
No, I can't.
So there is a self-review threat to objectivity where you cannot have all the courage necessary to criticize your own work or to pinpoint your own errors.
Yes.
So
Even if I can find them, I
yeah,
can't
even if you
pick, I
find
can't
them, you'll
say.
be shy to
Yeah.
say, "Apa nakamba izi."
So I will be biased.
You end up being biased, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. So that's another threat, self-reveal threat. Then lastly, advocate's threat. This one is very, very common, and auditors always fall prey. Because they want this relationship with the client to continue for a long time, they end up advocating for the client to third parties like banks and so forth to say, this is a good client. Please give them some loan. That is an advocate's threat to objectivity. Is
Mm.
that clear?
Yes, it's very, very clear.
Now, in the digital space, in the digital age, threats have also increased.
Okay.
All right. Accountants are facing these threats day in, day out because of the digital developments of recent times. And the key threats uh, include cybersecurity threats. This is the
Mhm.
risk of data theft and intimidation by hackers. One
Mm.
of the days you receive an email that says, "Hey, Mr. Tawanda, may you please send us 40,000 UK, or your wife and kid are going to disappear tomorrow morning."
Just an email.
Just an email from nobody. And they will tell you the name of your kid and the primary school to which
Yeah,
they attend.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, in the SBR exam situation, such types of scenarios is going
Scenarios.
uh, to be encountered. You are going to face such type of scenarios in the exam, and your job is to come up with uh, a viable recommendation, a viable response on what
Mm.
actions should be done. Stakeholder trust. Reliance on the accountant to secure sensitive citizen or customer data. Um, Accountants as well are going to be trusted by stakeholders as they will be given the information, be they for the purpose of obtaining a quotation or obtaining an invoice. They would be giving the accountant some sensitive data about their address and so forth. And these
Mm.
accountants, in many companies, they are linked to armed robbers and so forth. So, you as a trusted partner, are you going to be ethical? Are you not going to sell my information to my enemies?
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So, this is why we are saying you need to be very, very ethical
Mhm.
because unenge wakagara pagoridhe
Ukuziva zvese zvikuitika.
waibatanidza chani.
Yes, I
Now,
know that.
competence. There is a continuous duty to understand complex technologies. I've actually highlighted the aspect of AI, and almost every day when you go on YouTube, there is this common advert these days from the courses guys. They always
Mm.
talk of a new hire who has just joined their company, and he is still, stuck in the age of
Yeah.
Excel and PowerPoint.
Yes, 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 yes. Mhm.
When the team at this particular company is highly dynamic. So it is urged. I mean, you are encouraged that
Mm.
you need to always upgrade yourself. Hapasina
Okay.
chemahara. Hanzi chemahara mushana.
Mushana.
Yes. So guys, to go upgrade and which
Yes.
total time. Do you know even chat GPT itself has got so many functions.
Oh,
I mean, the interface,
yeah.
on top of simply prompting, there are a lot of things you can do there.
Okay.
You can as well make it your agent to do some of the work for you. So you need, we need to upgrade ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, you take time. Even a simple application on your phone, have some time to understand it. There are a lot of applications you haven't used on the phone.
Yes,
Just get
yes.
some time, understand what they are doing. You see, if you give
Mm,
your phone to your 10-year-old kid, by the end of the day, they would have finished exploring all the application, and they'll be telling
mm,
you what they are doing and why they are good for you.
yeah.
So have some time. Be curious. This is a
Mm,
digital data age. Be curious.
yes. Yes.
These are the emerging scenarios: artificial intelligence, risks of algorithmic bias, and potential malicious use of automated systems. There is always a downside of everything. So, in as much as they are good, these technologies, they also have got some dangers imposed. So you
Mm,
just have to be very careful. Okay, you need to be very
yes.
careful and you need to upgrade your prompt engineering. Well, the way
Mm,
you are going to input the prompts
mm,
to make sure that the algorithmic bias is minimized. So if you tell your chatbot to be neutral, it is going to be neutral. You need to tell them that
mm,
they should be formal, depending on the output you want. If you want it to
mm,
converse on a WhatsApp platform, it can do that in a social way. So it's about, you need to understand. If you say, please analyze my Excel document for me, I'm rushing out of time, but please be detailed and be formal because I'm going to present this to the board of directors. It's going to do
mm.
that for you
Okay.
and produce a neutral, and professional record, which you can simply, review and send for the board. Obviously, because these technologies do also make mistakes, you need to also cross-check. The way you cross-check your subordinates' work, you can check as well the algorithms work, and you are done.
Mm, mm,
Okay, distributed ledgers, the aspects of blockchain technologies. These ones assess the reliability of, accountants should assess the reliability of DLT systems and risks of unauthorized data access. All right, sometimes your company buys some technology or some blockchain technology. Uh, for example, maybe it's a company like the Center of Vehicle Registry. They
mm,
produce number plates. They have got
mm.
different branches. Okay,
Yes.
let's say in
Yes.
Gweru, Mutare, Harare, and so forth. But they have got the same
Mm,
system that produces number
yes.
plates. All right.
Mm,
So you need to
mm.
be able to ensure the integrity of that system to ensure that there is only one number plate for one car in the world.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No duplication. All right.
Mm,
That's the aspect of distributed ledgers. All right. Such that no duplication is going to happen. They are actually good technologies,
mm.
but their integrity has to be assessed from time to time. The data and
Yes.
platforms. You need to ensure honest consent for the data which is going to be used there. Remember the GDPR issues, okay,
Mm,
where you,
mm,
you might be penalized if you simply use data of somebody else without their consent.
mm,
This includes the plagiarism issues and
mm.
so forth. So uh,
Yes.
we just have to be careful there. Now, what if we fail to observe ethics? What is going to happen? There are
Mm-hmm.
about four consequences we have listed here. For example, there's going to be a professional consequence, loss of reputation, be it your company, people will start to lose confidence in you.
Mm.
You can as well be, chased away. All right? You
Yeah,
can be
yeah,
chased
yeah,
away from the
yeah.
army, exposed, or disciplinary action.
Yeah.
Then the legal consequences, disqualification orders, criminal convictions, prison sentences. Then financial aspects of cash flow, cash outflows when you want to settle some, some penalties or pay compensation to employees
Mm.
or customers who are grieved, severe fines, loss of revenue. Lastly, the economic impact, market instability, loss of investor trust, corporate bankruptcy. So ethics have to be observed. All right.
Yes.
Why students lose marks in Sbr question 2?
Okay.
If you're tired, please tell me so that I'll send you these notes, and I'll just continue one or two. One or two pages which are left, but we are
Ah,
almost there.
I'm not.
All
I'm
right,
not. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah.
we are almost there. Don't worry. So, like I said, question number 2 is a 20 marker. All right, that is 20% of the exam is on question number 2.
Okay. All right.
It tests ethics and professional judgment, and it includes 2 professional skills marks. Many candidates identify threats only.
All right. All
Yes, a
right.
lot
All
of
right.
us are able to say this one is a self-review threat, and then they proceed to another question.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All
Some
right.
some go a step further, but reciting the code of ethics without tailoring the situation
The
at hand
scenario.
or the
The
scenario.
scenario. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fail to evaluate the significance of the threat. How significant? What could what could go wrong with this particular threat?
Okay. No consequences.
The consequences.
Mm.
Then some then give vague recommendations. They are not clear. You simply just give a textbook recommendation, but it's not really linking or alleviating the problem at hand. Your
Mm-hmm.
recommendations should be as much, should be practical as much as possible. Very
Yes.
practical. So this is the examiner's expectation. You need to apply professional judgment to the scenario and
Mm.
justify your conclusions.
Okay.
The three-step structure for every question to answer. Identify and classify. You need to identify self-interest,
Mm-hmm.
self-review, advocates, familiarity, intimidation.
Intimidation. Yeah. So this is to identify threats
Yes. You must tell the
Okay.
examiner that there is this particular threat because of A, B, C, D. And don't just say there's self-review threat.
Yes.
Why you say there's self-review threat? Because of A, B, C, D. All right? Then
Okay.
evaluate the significance.
Mm.
Consider the materiality of the issue, the nature of the relationship, the public interest impact, duration. How long has it been there? Then, third, conclude with action. Can safeguards reduce the threat? Like I told
Mm.
you, sometimes safeguards will not be able to reduce the threat.
Yeah,
If
that's true.
yes, specify the safeguards. If not, decline, resign, remove the individual who is affected or who is bringing. Sometimes it's your team member who is familiar with the other guys. So you remove that guy
Yeah.
from the team to say, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, for this particular client, please, Mr. Ning, do not go there. Yes, you have disclosed, you have told us that, but please do not go there.
Yes.
So this is the formula. Identify the threat, evaluate the significance, take the appropriate action. So here we've got
So when you, mm,
we've included the threats and the possible safeguards.
oh,
In a
okay,
situation,
okay, okay.
you have identified that the threat here is self-interest. These are the
Mm-hmm.
potential safeguards you might employ to ensure that the threat is
Mm-hmm.
minimized. For example,
Yes.
maybe you've got shares in this particular company, so it is better
Mm-hmm.
to dispose of the shares, remove individual from the engagement team, or seek
Mm-hmm. That's
some
true.
independent review. So, depending on the scenario, one of these might work. Zvazorambisisawo ndopanorezainwa. And
So sorry,
uh,
you were breaking.
I'm saying these are the safeguards which
Oh,
are
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
these are the safeguards which might help in a self-interest situation. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, there is what is called self-review.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a threat of assessing your own work. So to
Yes.
minimize that threat, because people will say, right, but that's pastor say because auditor wacho ndiye akagadzirira maiji.
My financials.
So
Mm-hmm.
you need to use separate teams. The team that is going to prepare the accounts is not going
Should
to
be
be the team
separate.
that is going to
Mm.
audit.
Yes.
You need also to use the independent quality reviewer, and
Mm-hmm.
avoid auditing your own work.
Okay.
What of advocacy? There should be a separate team for advisory and that one
Mm-hmm.
for assurance,
Mm-hmm.
and also the use of independent reviews.
Yes.
Familiarity. This can be reduced by rotating senior staff, remove
Mm-hmm.
individuals who are affected or who
Mm.
are familiar, and
Yes.
independent oversight. Lastly, intimidation. You need to escalate to governance.
All right.
Murikutwara
All right.
mapepa, muri
Mm.
kuintimidatewa. Here is the fact.
Mm.
If people are intimidating you,
Mm-hmm.
they're actually showing disregard of your position. That's the first thing. You understand?
Yes.
So, well, to some extent, you might actually try to negotiate maybe with your immediate supervisor, this and that. But professionally,
Mm.
you need to involve senior management,
Mm.
escalate to governance. When we are talking of governance, we are talking of the board or the audit
Okay.
committee. I mean, those oversight functions. All
Okay.
right.
Mm.
You need to seek legal or professional advice. Legal or professional. Professional, like for example, the ACCA, the ACCA. All right.
Mm.
They can help, or the lawyers.
Okay.
These, I mean, their recommendations might as well signal if it is good for you to resign.
Okay.
Now, there is this important note. If a threat
Yes,
is
yes,
too
yes.
significant,
Mm.
no safeguard may be sufficient and withdraw from the engagement. may be required. So you need to assess, always exercise professional judgment. Always. Imagine a scenario where your firm's audit client asks your team to also provide tax advisory services.
Yes.
And the audit partner's spouse holds shares in the client's company. A weak answer. There is a self-interest threat. Safeguards should be applied. Yes, I would put a self-interest. Huh? And I was leaving out myself that for a but I asked to examine out happy myself got arch. I got to run.
This is very premature.
So here's the strong answer. The shareholding creates a self-interest threat to objectivity. A pinpoint that chino chacho chinokonzeresa self-interest shareholding yamama and mukadzi wapatini ane or mukadzi or murume mukadzi ane mashares mukambani iyoyo
This yoyo.
apa munhu uyu aona kuti panova ne-self-interest but haasi kutiudza kuti yabva papi
Company shareholding.
So the shareholding creates a self-interest threat to objectivity. Given its materiality, the threat may not be reduced to an acceptable low level. So a pinpoint out, partials out materiality, point out very significant. And the threat cannot be reduced to an acceptable level. The partner should be removed from the engagement or disposed of the mchina wangu uri kunetsa network yachina yakubhaisa
yatomboningikina yakati hello. Yes. Ndakukuonai nekukunzwai zvakanaka.
makundiona naye
yanga yatombonyatsa kudzimba.
Internet yacho namene zvainoita kuna kuti this side iri kunetsa.
All right, I know that's fine. It's okay.
So to maximize marks, reference the relevant threat kunyatsotiudza kuti pane nhau yeshareholding apa iri kuitika inotipa this particular threat, the self-review threat, self-interest threat. Explain why it is significant, because it is material, right? Recommend specific safeguards, specific, not vague, specific, and the specific way.
Remove
from the engagement.
Yes.
Dispose of the interest.
Oh yeah.
Or dispose of the interest. Right? If you simply say the partner should be removed from the engagement, examiner vatos developed. Yes, wakazvierenga kuti kana zvakadai zvinobvisa, but hausi kuunderstand the scenario because munhu anogona kungotengesa mashares acho, anobvumirwa kungomatengesa. Saka una kupedza unonyatsodzidza zvakakwana, vanongokupa 48%. Because unenge usati waibva.
Yes.
All right. Let's check whether the safeguards are sufficient. The threat may not be reduced to an acceptable level. All right. Yeah. Given the materiality, the threat may not be reduced to an acceptable level. All right. So in this case, pantodautoti vasiye patinofamba kubva o ngaatengese
dispose the interest.
Akadaro aditi zvoreva kuti vanogona kuenderera mberi, the safeguards in that case will be sufficient. All right. So our
Mhm.
budget angozosiyirwa zvaazva kuti anofanirwa kuti, but you can as well see kuti statement yake ari kunyora ari kunyora with confidence kuti tikangobvisa ipapo tikangoita zvino izvi nyaya yedu
Yeah, we
inenge
are women
yagadzirika.
dry. Nyaya yedu inenge
Murume
yagadzirika
kana
iyoyo.
maturity kariko kari kubuditsa kuti tikaita zvino izvi kaizvi nyaya yedu inobva yaita sei
Inoconclude.
yafamba, then reach a clear conclusion. So but actually up to this haunenge wafamba
Epoint inenge ine mangani.
hazvosiyana, pamba chinenge ne
Alright.
2 pamba chinenge
Okay.
zvongodepend.
Okay.
Now remember, the majority of percentage marks come from your evaluation and professional judgment, not from simply naming ethical threats.
Yeah, that's true. I put my emphasis.
So the accountant's journey is defined by the choices made when nobody is watching.
Yes.
You need to determine the nature of the decision, identify affected rights and interests, refer to professional rules and external laws. All right, enough for ethics. I'm sure ethics are done.
Okay.
This is now the last part, which I think if you want a small stretch.
Okay, it's okay. Let me just see.
Stretch.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna 145. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'll send you another link.
Okay, so it's okay. Yes, I'm back.
You're back.
Yes.
All right, that's fine. Now we are entering the second, actually it's the third segment.
Okay.
Yes, that's our last segment, which will be hinged on let me fill a pen. So we are now attempting what is called financial. What's happening with my pen? Can't write. Financial. It's very slow. I don't know what's happening. Financial reporting framework.
Okay.
Of framework for financial reporting. So in international corporate reporting, we are encouraged, or let me just say, for the purpose of this paper, we will be using the IASB conceptual framework of 2018.
Okay.
Okay. That's the framework we are going to be hinged upon. So the objective of this framework is to provide a rigorous structured guide for understanding how economic transactions are captured, quantified, and communicated to global markets. Like I said, to pass this paper, do not be blinkered to think of your own company's practices, but you need to benchmark those practices with global standards.
Okay.
Have a global mindset. So the conceptual framework, in essence, is actually the bedrock. It is the foundation which assists accountants in many ways. All right. For the corporate reporting environment to be steadfast, it needs this bedrock. For the discipline or the profession of accounting to be as esteemed as it is today, there should be a viable, useful framework on which whatever theory, whatever standard that's going to be produced should be based upon. Okay, standards have a tendency of deviating, but you'll see that their deviation is not really going to be far-fetched. It is controlled by this conceptual framework because it is the framework that gives us, the information as to what an income item is, an expense item is, a liability, an asset, and so forth. This is the framework that gives us that idea.
Yes.
All right. So it assists the board. It serves as, okay, here the board, the word board, we are talking of the IASP, not your campus board.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're talking of the IASP, the International Accounting Standards Board. So the conceptual framework assists the board. It serves as a theoretical base to assist the board to develop and revise consistent IFRS accounting standards. So you see that these standards, in as much as they are catering for different things, they've got some certain words which actually, harmonize them. They actually show that they are coming from the same, machine. Okay. Yeah. If you actually read IFRS 15, that is for revenue, right? And that one for leases, it's IFRS 16. You could actually see, some of the terminologies there is actually, showing that these ones are actually coming from the same oven, right? So there is some consistency in the way the standards will be framed, and all this is emanating from the conceptual framework. Then policy development. The framework assists financial statement preparers to develop consistent accounting policies when no specific IFRS standard applies to a transaction or when a choice of policy is permitted. So where there is no a particular IFRS addressing the issue, accountants should reference whatever they want to do the framework. Stakeholder interpretation. The framework assists all global stakeholders to interpret and understand the deeper conceptual underpinnings of IFRS accounting standards. So it also serves as the reference book where, people have read the IFRS, but there is a certain terminology they do not understand. They go back to the foundation, that is the conceptual framework, and hopefully they are addressed. They get all the answers they want.
Yes.
All the interpretations and so forth. Then, precedence, a rule. IFRS accounting standards take absolute precedence over the conceptual framework where conflicts arise. Any standard departures are explicitly justified by the ISP in the basis for conclusions. So I've talked about this, that when there is conflict between the standard and the conceptual framework, please follow the standard, isn't it? What is the objective? The primary objective of financial reporting, and who are the primary users of those reports? So the target audience are the current and potential, investors, lenders,
Yes.
and other creditors. I don't know what's happening with my pen. I'm sorry.
No, no, that's fine. It's okay, but I can clearly see.
So, when you are preparing those financial statements, they are normally called general purpose financial statements. All right. They are products of general purpose financial reporting. And the direct audience are the current and the potential. You see, the reason why they have included potential is that your report might seem to be good to the current lenders, but it may not be good to the potential. So you need to have the future stakeholders in mind. This is also a notion on the going concern principle. All right. Do not think of today. Also think of a year to come. Whatever you are reporting today, make sure it is going to assist the entity 1 year after today. Economic decisions, economic decision making. These primary users, that is the current and the potential investors, lenders, and other creditors, require clear information to guide their economic decisions regarding the allocation of resources to the reporting entity. And we are talking of the reporting entity, we are talking of that entity where the accountant is working. That entity that is producing those reports. When these guys, the primary users, are making decisions, they will be relying on those reports. So if somebody says, please include fake information or fraudulent information, please be guided by the ethical principles, because there are consequences. That information is going to be used by other people who are very innocent. Are we together?
That we did.
Expectation of returns. Users evaluate and model their potential investment returns by assessing two crucial dimensions, namely the explicit amount, precise timing, and inherent uncertainty of future net cash flows to the entity. So these amounts will be as reported in your financial statements. So if you just pick figures from the blue and throw them in that report, you'll be killing other people.
Why innocent?
Yeah. Also remember that that report speaks volumes of the management's stewardship of the entity, how they allocate, how they manage the entity's resources is actually being spelled out by the report. So always ensure accuracy. Be honest in the reporting. The concept of stewardship. I thought it very, very prudent to discuss about this because it is also something that is always referenced in examinations.
Okay.
Accountability in resource management. Remember, we talked of accountability earlier on in this session. So, stewardship measures how efficiently and effectively management has discharged its responsibilities to safeguard and maintain the Earth's economic resources. The IASB preferred the use of steward over agent. Although the key theory here is the agent's theory, but they've moved from an agent to a steward. A steward is more inclined towards servant leadership. Somebody
Right.
who is anopinda nemoyo ali.
Yeah.
You see that? So, yeah, they have preferred the use of stewardship, not agents. So it's a step in the right direction. So managers should act like stewards, the trusted ones. Framework inherent priority. The SB explicitly introduced and reinforced stewardship as a central pillar within the conceptual framework, separating it from simple profit generation metrics. So vari kuti tikashanda nevara rokuti stewardship rinounza mweya wakanaka pakati pemadirectors. Hatichangoti vanhu vangoita yese yese adii. Investor assessment. Users look closely at the historical track record of asset custody to form predictive judgment on future resource optimization and operational integrity. So they will be banking upon those financial statements. They might take or consider 5-year financial statements of your firm, and then they do some trend analysis. They do some performance analysis to see if they can make an investment into your company. There are certain characteristics these investors will look at. And the conceptual framework has come up with qualitative characteristics. These are in twofold. The first one is the fundamental qualitative characteristics category. This one involves two dimensions: relevance and faithful representation. Information is relevant if it makes a difference to decisions made by users.
That's true.
Nature and materiality here comes into being. What's the nature of the transaction? What is the the materiality of it? All right. We all know that an item is material if it's omission or commission. An item is material if its omission or commission can influence the decisions of the users. So if you ignore to input it, maybe people are going to be, annoyed. Investors are going to be annoyed, and they will, forgo the decision of investing in your company. So if the item is that tendency, therefore it has to be included, or it has to be omitted. All right. Faithful representation. The accounts or the financial statements or information, rather, must faithfully represent the substance of what it represents, not really the legal form. Right? The information must faithfully represent the substance of what it represents and is therefore complete. That is, it helps understand and includes descriptions and explanations. It should be neutral, no bias, and therefore supported by the exercise of prudence and free from error. Measurement and certainty will impact the level of faithful representation. We'll talk about this measurement and certainty as we proceed. Okay. So so you discover that faithful representation holds a large chunk of what is required in financial statements. You understand? It is
Yes.
something which is normally hinged on ethics. If you see the language there was the aspect of no bias. It's actually consistent with our ethical principles. Is that clear?
It's clear. It's
Now,
clear.
these are the fundamental qualitative characteristics. We have got what are called enhancing qualitative characteristics, and these ones are four. The first one is comparability.
Yeah.
There is need to identify similarities or differences between entities and year-on-year performance. You see, the information which we present or which we produce or we report should
Yes.
enable investors to identify similarities or differences through comparisons.
Yes.
If it becomes very, very impossible to compare the performance of company A and B who are in the same industry, then something is wrong. You understand?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
the conceptual framework is of the spirit that financial reporting should ensure that it is possible for investors to identify similarities or differences between entities so that they have enough choice to make sufficient investment decisions. It should also be possible to evaluate the performance of the same company over a period of time, for example, over a 5-year period, using their financial statements. Why? Because the way they are being prepared is so consistent that you can compare their performance as easily as possible. Comparability is done. Verifiability. This one assures the information represents the economic phenomena it represents, which means any reasonable person who is, of course, qualified. All right, because when we are saying reasonable, we are simply saying this person should be qualified, isn't it? Not any person. All right, any reasonable person should be able, using the professional judgment, should be able to come to almost similar conclusions. We should be able to verify the information
on the financial statement.
on the financial statement. We should be able to come up. If somebody using maybe the trial balance of your company should be able to come up with an almost similar set of financial statements, just using the trial balance, we should be able, an auditor should be able to come and to agree that what the accountant did was actually the right thing to do.
Okay.
Why? Because it was possible to verify.
So now verifying this way is to go direct maybe kune information yacho kwautanga uneklikina. Don't try to grasp the concept.
All right. We are simply saying it should be possible to verify the data which has been presented. All right. So,
Yeah,
for example, if you're having a set
thanks
of
for
financial
that.
statements,
Yeah,
right?
thanks for
Let's
that.
say we are having the amount for non-current assets. It should be
Yes.
possible to use uh, the accounting procedures to come to the same figure, which means that figure should be capable of being verified using all
Yes.
accounting techniques. We should be able to come to the same figure. If it is now impossible to arrive at the same figure, then something is wrong. That information is not qualitative, is not meeting the enhancing qualitative characteristic.
Yeah, this is true. This is very true.
Yeah. So That's the aspect on verifiability. So when we observe verifiability, then it means that the information is, we are assuring that the information is representing the economic phenomena it represents. Why? Because
Mhm.
it is capable of being verifiable.
Mhm. Mhm.
Any person, any accountant, given the set of information, can arrive at the same figure. Are we together?
Yeah, this is making sense. I can now clearly see the practicality of maybe zvandaiita ndisingatozivi kuti ndozvazviri kureva.
Adedika.
Mhm.
Good. Ukaona mafigures enyamudarasi achinetsa kuti mumwe munhu akati ngaabhoitawo zvotadza kubuda pane nyaya.
You should just give mumwe wemunhu ari qualified, then you should come up with the same thing.
Ndobva kuti inini kana ndichiuya kuzoodhita ndokuda TB. Yes, ndichacheka mafinancials enyamakaita, but chimbondipai TB ndoitawo yangu. Toona kuti
Yeah.
tinosvika here ikoko. Ukaona tisingasvike, then verifiability haipo ipapo.
Something is wrong.
Yeah. Maibata
Right?
kuteedza.
Yeah.
Then timeliness. Information is less useful the longer it takes to report it. So inoshandawo kana muchikasira kupedza. So there's no purpose yekuzotiburitsira sezvino andinomboona amwe macompanies achizoburisa financial statement ra2025 asakatotanga kuti hazita apera izvezvi, anozopera taakuenda muna November.
Yeah, isisina ma-investors avo kutotsvaga zvinhu.
Aona hatidzi pay inoshanda sei stock exchange yedu wamana takadaro hati serious.
Yeah, hapana kuchinjwa.
Vanhu atakachiti hanzi aiwa zvodetsa upana wapi zvemafinancials aya haabudi zvokubva ake.
Ma-financials anofanira kungobuda, hapana chombonetsa.
So timeliness, guys, we need to be careful there. Then understandability. We need to have our stakeholders in mind. We must use the jargon which they can understand.
They can understand that. They can appreciate. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. We need to ensure that they are well informed. Right. So if we use complex language, then we are going to defeat the objective, and we're not going to be the statements themselves are not going to be useful to them. Then there is that last point which I want to point out. The cost constraint. Financial information is subject to cost or benefit constraints. The operational benefits to users must fully justify the cost incurred by the entity in gathering and reporting it. Is it going to help your business if you are going to hire an expert from the UK, where you are going to pay $3 million for them to do the financial statement? And by the end of the day, your benefit of that information is just going to be $2,000.
It's not going to benefit us.
So they are saying, in as much as they want high quality financial information, the cost of obtaining that information should not outweigh the benefit from the information.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So in the scenario, this one is, like I said, it's highly a discursive component, especially on question 2, where one of the directors is saying that, he once worked in the UK, and there's this young man, he's so fond of him. He wants to come. He's actually recommending that the company should hire him because he's known in the landscape of financial reporting that he can produce high quality financial reports.
Yes.
What is your decision? Something like that. So you need to consider all those things. First of all, you need to acknowledge that it is highly imperative that companies should produce high quality financial reports. However, the cost constraint should also be considered. You understand? Do chat patambuisia kuti zvionekwe ipapo. So what this is what is going to happen. You read the rest. I've actually checked almost all the important nitty-gritties. You read this one, and hopefully tomorrow evening there's going to be an assignment. I'm just trying to update my questions because I mean, in the last sitting, I had no Sbr student, so I'm trying to update certain things and remember this is a new syllabus, which means that some of the questions are no longer relevant. Remember, there is what is called IFRIS 18, which means most of the questions need some modification. So I'm trying to upgrade so that, but here, do not worry because much of the things here are just discussive for this first week. So tomorrow I'm going to give you just two questions for you to do. Please do not forget to share the videos with your friends. But if you want to share and not encouraging them to come, you will be the only person paying and they will be watching for free. So also encourage people to join. If there were 2 or 3 guys who would have a good, meaningful discussion, isn't it? So try to to spread the word so that they also come and benefit, and you as well, you also be benefiting more deeply, because if there are a lot of guys around, the discussions will be meaningful, and it will be, enjoyable. I hope I've been nice to you and you have been nice to me. See you in 7 days. We must have another lecture. And you should
Sorry,
get there.
sorry, you were breaking. I am not sure. Also,
Hello?
Yeah, ndapesera kunzwa mamtaura nyaya yekuti if you want to share any video to your friends.
All right. I was saying, feel free to share these videos with your peers. All right. But I encourage you to spread the word so that they come also to school, and we'll be doing these live sessions together with them, and they will also be paying for the services. Because if you simply give them, they are going to watch for free, and the school is not going to grow, and you also want to be benefiting, because there's more benefit in the live discussions. If they will be asking questions, they'll be contributing, and it will be a healthy, lively class. Do you understand?
Yeah, I know that's fine. It's okay. I think I have 1 or 2 guys who were asking about SRB lectures.
So it's fine. I'll be looking forward to work with you through this journey. But remember, we are time pressured. You need to do an assignment in the next 7 days. In 7 days, we must not exceed 7 days. Which means if you do not do the assignment in 7 days, you would have forfeited that opportunity, and it will not come back again. We'll go to the next topic, and that will be your own peril, because you need to have a feedback. So if I give you those 2 questions, you need to do them in the next 2 days, so that you give me able time to mark before the end of the 7 days. Because in the next 7 days, we'll be starting something new. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
This is why a lot of guys sometimes do not like me, because I would want to cover ground.
Yeah.
So handini zvokungodya mari dzenyu.
No, from my side, I just see, I'm honestly asking for a genuine help. Like I said, it's my first exam. I was exempt 9 modules.
Paunenge uchiita maassignment ukangoona wangovharwa nezvese, assignment haizi kuti unourawa. Handiti assignment yekungoti tingobatsirana apo neapo. Saka unongotondiudza, unotondibvunza mudhara kuti apa ndiri kuvharwa ndofamba sei. Handiti ndokudzidzisana kwacho. Feel free mudhara. Handiti ipapa pachero zvinhu zvausina kunzwisisa ukazosara wakuverenga vega, because pane about 5 or 6 slides dzimwe dzatisina kukava. Handiti dzatoda kuti uverengewo, because ndoda kuti uverenge apo neapo handiti. So
Yeah.
uchaverenga ipapo panaona kuti apa hausi kupanzwisisa unondibvunza chero pari pakati pausiku ndotombobva pana madhamu ndotombosenza iwewe handiti. So
Aiwa, ndaona kuti madhamu ndewekwamugodhi.
iwoga
Ndaona amene kana asiri awa maposta zviya.
ndivo madhamu, yes ndo chechi kwangu ikoko. So
Seems like ndakambosangana zveda.
wo
Ndokwangu.
kanyawari
Eh,
apa panhasi vanhu vari kutopedza musangano apo but ndatoona kuti
wari
ndingamusapota.
kwabusho.
Vari
Wakaenda
pabusha.
kwabusho. Alright, alright. Haina
Ndaona kuti
handakuzokwanisa
muri
kuenda
wateura
because
izvezvi.
motokumbira ruregerero kuti mweya mutsvenenga aya but anonyaradzika bhozi anga aiwa watumwa watori ikoko wasvika wakamudza kare saka zvatofamba. Okay.
Haiwa tobatana shamwari uswere zvakanaka inoda kuenda arika.
What else? I wanted to ask also kuti next tomorrow neda kuopena panhinge
Aiwa
bhozi ni kwando.
ndokusendera ndatongosenda ndikangoupdata ndobva ndatongosendera ndongosenda kugoogle classroom ikoko then mobva matoita maassignments achona zvokutoti tofanirwa kuti next Saturday again toona another session on something new andidika but pasession iyoyo tinodedicate about the first 30 minutes tongodeliberate lively on what we covered on the assignment itself pakamboita machallenges and so forth ndogona kungoweka kana ichida kuwekewa ipapo apo tongoweka tese gagagaga then totopinda mu something new.
All right, no, that's fine, it's okay.
Maibata
The possible next topic ndepi ndizombotogaga ndiregere kubva ndazonyanya
all
kupinda
right.
ndakadzima.
All right. Okay. Next topic yatoda kuti tiitika IFRS 18 presentation of financial statements. All right. So I'd like to cover IFRS 18. Then in my presentation of financial, actually that's the IFRS. But unombotsvaga one or two questions attempt the presentation of financial statements. Tichamboita a question. I think tichaita one question, one or two. One in a statement of profit or loss. Yakunzi statement of financial performance. Then in a statement of financial position. Tichaita the two just to warm up. All right. Just a warm up. Actually, talk on a site. A presentation format yacho. Then tozobata mabasic groups tichaba nafuti mabasic groups ipapo kana nguva yacho ichatendera but normally tichambotry kurova IFRS 18 toibata neIFRS 3 business combination and so forth. Saka ndozvachatry kuti tiite sei tiite because nguva yedu inaomira musha.
Pashata. It's okay.
Maibata midzi yacho.
Ndaibata fambe zvakanaka musamhanye zvenyu.
Iripo mane ya spread the word shamari audze mafesi yawe iripo.
Aiwa regai ndipreache don't worry mutisira excited kwangu.
Sharp iripo bye.
Thanks, bye.